Hi, it's Romy. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Pisces, this is your reading for February 2020. So if you have sun rising or moon in Pisces, it may resonate for you. It is a general reading. If you're enjoying my work, you can go ahead and purchase the extended. The link for that is in the description box below. You can also follow me Facebook and Instagram, or come check me out on romywyser.com to see all of the readings and services that I offer, as well as joining up on my monthly membership group, which is via Patreon. Okay, let's go ahead and see what February's got in store, Pisces. Okay, Pisces, we're opening up your reading with your guide card for the month ahead. From the major arcana is the card of Temperance, and your gift card for the month ahead, which is Simplicity. I'm working with the ideas of the guide and the gift in personal readings that I'm offering over on my website, romywyser.com, The Soul Journey and Journey to Love, if you'd like to explore that at a later stage. But for your month of February, Temperance is bringing in this energy, I feel, to help you with the balance and the adjustment, because first of all, we have Aquarius season activating your 12th house. So there is this theme of release, of closure, of coming to a point of acceptance about a stage in your life coming to an end, and there being a tremendous amount of healing energy that's coming through for you in that level. We also have Mercury moving into Pisces, but then it goes retrograde. So we're in shadow right from the start of February, and it's turning retrograde on the 17th in your sign through 4th of March, and then it dips into Aquarius between the 4th and the 9th. So we have a month that has you really feeling all the feels, Pisces, and I think that this energy of Temperance is going to be incredibly supportive to sort of allow you to let the flow happen, let these emotions surface, allow yourself to go where you need to go, but at the same time not to get lost in it, not to lose yourself in any emotional ocean that feels too overwhelming. And see, here's where I think that the card of the gift is so important, because for me what it's saying is just strip everything back. Absolutely look at what's coming up for you, look at what your priorities are, look at what is important, and see where you can clear. This is absolutely a time of clearance for you, and the energy from that eclipse and the conjunction should have already activated something within your realm that has really shown you where that release needs to take place. And so you're probably already working with these energies, but this is just a reminder as we begin this month of February. So let's take a look at what your main cards are coming through. So as we said, Mercury moves into your sign from the 3rd of February, helping you to, for me, communicate first and foremost with yourself in a very honest and truthful way. And then with those people in your life where perhaps you're ready to make some adjustments. You know, I feel that some of you will be coming to those conclusions about what changes you want to make in key relationships in your life, professionally, personally, romantically, and that energy is going to be supportive. Now, when we turn retrograde, perhaps you'll need to revisit some old dynamics, old patterning, or things will come back up for you to acknowledge. But we start out your reading with 3 of Pentacles, which I really like, because I think it's going to give you some focus, and it's going to give you some structure. And for some of you, it may be that you need to really take the time to kind of throw yourself into some sort of project or work, and that's going to balance out if things feel a little bit overwhelming on the emotional side, right? I think you're also ready to decide where you want to start seeing the creation and where you want to start building, right? I feel like in this Aquarius season in your 12th, there's going to be quite a firm understanding of what hasn't worked and what you're ready to just move away from. And actually here what we're seeing is that the universe is starting to bring in the right connections, the right collaborations, the right opportunity for you to kind of recalibrate and reset your focus. And actually, while Mercury's in retrograde, you can think about it a little bit on that level as well. It's kind of giving you the opportunity, I guess, to reset in a way, or to revisit something of importance, or where you want to really sort of direct your time, energy and attention. And I think that when you come to that decision about the key relationships that need to change, it's going to help your focus so that you can align with the energy that's going to be most supportive. So Two of Cups coming through, which for me is very suggestive about you being very much in alignment with what you need. So like being like betting on yourself and being your best friend, being, you know, the person that you can rely on most through this month of February, but also making sure that you are moving towards those people in your life that are incredibly supportive, who resonate, who really get where you're at, what you're trying to achieve and what you want right now. So if there is those of you that have a real focus in and around what's happening on a romantic relationship right now, what I am seeing is that Temperance is also bringing in a little bit of patience, a little bit of a moderate energy to help provide the right environment so that you can either look to rebuild something or take it to another level, I feel. Okay, so what is going to matter though is that you take the time to kind of strip back everything that just isn't important. So if you find that you're getting caught up in conversations, and this is, you know, classic Mercury retrograde, right? If you get caught up in conversations about old stuff that's happened and you're casting up, or, you know, that person's casting up to you, it's just no longer going to be conducive. You know, we're moving into a completely different vibrational energy. And for me, February is this big adjustment month where we're starting the implementation of what we've learned and how we want to feel and move differently through the world. Two of Wands energy come in, which is wonderful because again, it's talking about planning, it's talking about prioritization. You're incredibly focused in this. You know exactly what it is that you want and you are very clear about that. So I think from a relationship perspective, you are communicating that from the heart. First of all with yourself, so that you're really on board with what it is that you think you want, right? And maybe you'll take some time to do that while Mercury's in retrograde. But what comes out of it for me is quite a decisive, clear-minded understanding that, you know, you have looked at the kind of core elements of what matters to you. You know, here are the things that are going to make the difference for me in a relationship. Here are the things that I'm looking for in a partnership, either business, personally or romantically. You know, here is where I'm setting out my store, and this is me deciding how I want to take things moving forward. I think there are choices to be made and decisions that are going to come up with both of these twos coming in right at the start of the reading for you. But I see you being quite clear-minded with yourself, and I think again that energy of Temperance is going to be very supportive for you to make sure that you're coming from a place that you want the balance to be right this time. There's no point in jumping back into something if it's just going to bring about the same kind of energy and be the same sort of dynamic. You're going to do it differently this time, and I think you really are ready for that, Pisces. Knight of Swords energy. So okay, again, we could have somebody returning or you returning to a situation, but again, what I pick up mostly from this card for you right now is the decisiveness. So I think it's kind of interesting. It's a bit of a contrast, right? Because we have in this retrograde, sometimes we talk about there being that kind of haze, and particularly when it's in a water sign, it can, you know, really tap into our internal emotional self and how we're communicating on that kind of level. But I think that when you are in that place, which is where you feel comfortable and at home, Pisces, right? And then again, while we're in 12th house in Aquarius season, you're doing that deeper subconscious work anyway, but what comes out of that is this clarity and this force and this absolute direction about where you want to move and what you want to start to prioritize, right? Of course, it could be an air sign you're dealing with here, Gemini, Libra or Aquarius. And if that is the case, again, maybe this is something connected in on a work level for some of you, whether you're deciding about if it's the right way forward to work with somebody or not, to collaborate, or if this is on a romantic level. You know, is this somebody who has been in and out? You know, have they I don't know, I almost get a sense that perhaps for some of you that you might be experiencing like you've tried this before, and there's that element of am I actually going to try this one more time, or am I not? And I think that's probably a big choice and decision that's going to come forward. Okay, interesting. Wheel of Fortune coming up right in the center of your reading, which I really like for you, because I think there is this very fatalistic energy around what's going to take place for you in this month of February. I think there's going to be some really wonderful opportunities opening up, particularly on a work front, which is why I think Spirit are being quite clear about the fact that you do need to focus and prioritize, even though we are in a month that is giving you quite a challenging emotional backdrop to navigate through. And the reason for that is that you need to be clear and ready to move when these opportunities present themselves for you. I also feel like it's almost, there is an unexpected kind of vibe that comes forward with this. So I'm going to say that for some of you, perhaps where you felt something was completely done and dusted, what you might find as we're in this retrograde season, that all of a sudden it comes back to life. Now that could be something that you had been thinking about and maybe then made a decision that it wasn't for you anymore, and then you have a complete U-turn, or perhaps somebody else has communicated something to you and then all of a sudden you find that they're back on your doorstep and actually have changed their mind, or are now laying out a different vision for you to consider. Again, you know, Temperance suggests take some time to do that. Make sure that you really seek the inner guidance and take the time to know whether this is going forward going to really deliver against the priorities that you've laid out for yourself, okay? If you are able to do that, then I think you are going to feel more clear-minded about whether you want to start again, whether you want a new beginning, whether you have the wherewithal and the energy to want to revisit this and start again. I definitely love the arrival of the Ace of Wands in this reading for you, because I do think February is probably more of a vibe for you, feeling like, okay, this is the new year. This is kind of the getting a feel for what 2020 is going to be about for you, what the themes are that are showing up. So, you know, Jupiter, that planet of expansion and growth, delivering opportunities for us in Capricorn in your 11th house. So very much about you building connections, you building that sense of community and aligning with people that have that shared vision, that are looking to achieve, you know, what you are, that want the same things that you want. And I think these are the kind of things you need to be asking yourself through this month if you are going to align with somebody in any capacity. You know, are they really on my level at this point? Because here's the thing, you've changed so much, and I don't even think that some of you have had the opportunity yet, and I think you will this month, to actually realize how much you've changed, right? So during all of this kind of ascension and energy shifts, what we have coming out for me is this bolder, slightly more assertive, slightly more prepared to take a risk and actually just forge ahead in your life. It's like no more waiting around, you know, you're kind of tired, you've tried different pathways, you've tried different approaches, you're very clear about what didn't work, and now you're prepared to invest yourself in the things that you really feel have got a good chance of working out. That's what I want to say. And that, you know, that's going to be the same across your relationships, across where you're putting your passion and time in, you know, how you want to raise your family, like what is important from a business or career perspective. This is what I feel is coming through for you. So you've got 2 nights coming up in the reading, which is wonderful, because for me they bring swift change. You know, they're both messengers, harbors of change, and you know, again with that wheel coming in, but all of the change feels positive. It's bringing in a little bit of a fresh air. We have on the 9th full moon in Leo, right? So it's a beautiful aspect. It's trining with Mars, so it's a very bold, very warm, very passionate full moon is what I want to say. Where is it activating? It's in your 6th house, so it's about being of service, how you want to show up in the world, how you take care of yourself. And here's the other thing, 7 of Wands coming in, that says, do you know what? I've realized, because of what I've been through, what my worth is. And now that I know that, and we also have Venus moving into Aries, by the way, which is second house, all of self-worth coming forward, what you value, particularly from a relationship perspective. So making you very bold, making you very courageous, making you prepared to stand up for yourself and say, this is what I need, this is what I want, this is what I deserve, this is where I'm going to place my focus. If you want to join me, wonderful, we'll do amazing things together. If not, no hard feelings, but you need to move along, because I need to keep moving forward. And I'm stripping everything back because that quality of simplicity is so important to me in my life right now. I can't have toxicity, and I mean that on all levels. So what they're saying to me is like, it's about not wanting those energies around you who are draining, not wanting people who activate patterns that are going nowhere. You know, it's like round and round in circles. You want off that merry-go-round, Pisces. You're not prepared to do that anymore. You're not going to stick around in a job or a career where you're not valued. You are not going to continue to eat or absorb or use products that don't make you feel good anymore. I think there's really big adjustments that are taking place for you through this month of February. And okay, you don't implement them all straight away, but I think you're really clear-minded and you're starting to lay the powerful foundations for that. And then the universe is coming in and bringing some interesting left field opportunities that, you know, I want you to remain open to. Of course, it's your free will choice as to whether you want to accept what is being offered. But for me, what seems to be coming in is really propelling you forward and opening up a new door, opening up a new pathway. I think from a work perspective, there's great energies coming through for you. Absolutely. Queen of Pentacles coming in as well. So that nice, earthy, grounded anchor into your reading. Again, just this reminder that it feels important to focus on those areas of your life where you can make really meaningful progress. And if there are people or situations that are still feeling really stuck and stagnant, I think the advice right now is to actually put your focus elsewhere for now. Put your focus on the things that you can change at the moment and allow the universe to move those other component parts forward in the right time. You know, the retrograde will help you reprioritize what matters. It's going to allow you to go deep into yourself to really figure out where your heart is aligned and how you feel about that energy. So Queen of Pentacles, of course, could be an earth sign that you're dealing with, a Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. If it is, you may well have a job or a work offer or situation coming through. Or, you know, from a romantic perspective, somebody that's absolutely wanting to have a fresh start or a new beginning, but perhaps still feeling a little bit defensive, maybe about something that they've done, or, you know, this could be the other way around. So there's a little bit of a defensive quality that I feel is happening in and around that situation. I also want to say that be prepared, just with that wheel right in the placement, that, you know, for some of you, this could be like kind of a fated encounter of just literally bumping into somebody. So they may not arrive on your doorstep, but you may just end up finding that you know, come back into contact with somebody because you literally, you know, you were walking down the street and they're in front of you. I kind of have that vibe going on in February, which could lead to some new opportunities. It could lead to some really interesting conversations. It could lead to even some reconciliation for some of you with people during that retrograde season. If that's firmly not in your mind, I think still stay open to the energy of what is coming through with that Queen of Pentacles. For me, it's talking about just getting on and doing the work. It's a reminder that that abundance is already flowing towards you. So all you need to do is move your focus towards it. For those of you that have gone through a chaotic kind of start to the year with those January energies, for me this is quite a nice grounded anchor with the pentacles kind of either side here. Okay, the knights are bringing in that change, but we need that. They're kind of helping with the clearing out of all the energy. And remember, this is about simplicity, stripping back. I'm sure many of you will be feeling like you need a mass clear out, you know, metaphorically, but also physically in your space. I think that's really important. This idea of creating space, more so from a perspective that you can actually receive inspiration and messages, and you know, with your connection to your own guides and your higher self, you know. So it's almost like just by having more space around you, even if it's physically in your office environment, in your home, it's just going to bring you that kind of right vibe where you're in a space where you can then receive a cleaner, purer message from spirit. That's what I feel is coming through. Okay, let's go ahead and see what these oracle cards are saying to reflect the reading. Okay, center. I really like this. You know what's so nice is that in spite of the fact that we do have, you know, so much of this emotional kind of wave coming through February, you seem so anchored in this reading for me, Pisces, and I think that's going to serve you really well. I think you need this. It's going to give you some confidence to actually make some quite important decisions for yourself about directions and what comes next. And that's wonderful, because that's going to be right as we leap into your solar returns. The sun moves into Pisces on the 19th, and then you've got that beautiful new moon in your sign on the 23rd. So by the time we come around to that, you're feeling really, really centered and aligned. And again, temperance energy really helping you with that. So calling her energy in as you need it to make the adjustments necessary. Tremendous amount of healing that comes through with that as well. And I think as we're in 12th house and Aquarius season, you need to recognize what you do need to release and let go of, so that you can have the energy for all of the focus and the drive and the energy that I see coming forward from this, right? Okay, a new romantic cycle begins. New moon in Libra. Beautiful. Again, we talk about the balance here coming through. I think for some of you, you know, there's definitely this vibe in February's reading about connections, sort of slightly fated opportunities to connect or reconnect. You know, when Venus is in Aries, it's a very flirty, very playful, quite bold, quite risky kind of placement. So I think you're also going to be quite up for reaching out and connecting and wanting to meet new people, wanting to put yourself out there. But it also heralds like the fact that this is a fresh new energy cycle, and because you are, for me, coming from a much more grounded, centered place where you're really understanding what your worth is across the board, it absolutely has to play out in what's happening from your key relationships, and you know, not just romantically in terms of you know, your partners, but also just in the way that you see yourself and how that shows up in friendships and, you know, other key relationships in your life as well. So much more balance and harmony set to come through with that. Of course, the new moon in Libra is going to take us right through to September, October time of 2020. So, you know, between now and then, what we're seeing is a strengthening of your confidence, a stepping out, a kind of shedding of the old way that you perhaps showed up in a certain capacity within your relationships. And I think you really understood that at quite a profound level in the last few weeks and months, Pisces. So here's now like the test bed where you're starting the implementation of how things are going to be different and how you would like to show up moving forward. So I hope that's given you some clarity for the month of February. I'm going to go ahead and pull us some clarifying cards right now. So what we're going to do is continue this conversation for another 20 minutes or so. If you would like to join me, it's a way to support my channel, and you can find the link in the description box below. And we will just basically unearth additional intuitive messages and see what else comes through. So we will clarify Three of Pentacles again with Knight of Swords energy. Very creative, lots of ideas flowing, and you know, feeling like you want to get moving on them. There is this sense of real Queen of Swords as well. Wow, okay. You know, your thought forms are changing. They really are. And that's going to show up in the way that you communicate and express yourself, what you're working on creatively, what you're doing in your work and what you're passionate about, even the conversations that you're having with people in your life. Okay, King of Cups coming through with Two of Cups. So perhaps it's a water sign, yourself or another, or certainly this King of Cups might be representing somebody that you're holding in your heart space right now. Hanged Man. Okay, we'll go into that in a little bit more detail in the extended. Let's see what comes out with that. Okay, Two of Wands bringing in the Four of Pentacles. Again, I think just this prioritization of energy, you know, where you want to invest. I really like this for you. There's such a grounded focus coming in. Okay, Knight of Swords bringing through 9 of Wands. And 5 of Wands. A lot of fire energy coming through as well. It's great. It's giving you the energy. Okay, the Wheel's bringing in 7 of Swords. Okay. 9 of Cups. Interesting messages coming through there. We'll go into more detail again in the extended. Ace of Wands with the 3 of Wands. Definitely good business opportunities on the horizon this month, Pisces. 3 of Swords. Very cleansing energy there, you know, and I think moving away from past disappointments so that you can embrace the new opportunities that are about to come. Perhaps a dream or an idea is taking a bit of a radical shift or adjustment. 7 of Pentacles with the Knight of Wands. That's okay though, you know, we need almost that purification to happen so that you're not, you know, again, sort of being held back by any old resistant energy of where something didn't work. It's like moving beyond the failure or the disappointment. 9 of Swords with 7 of Wands, okay. 4 of Swords coming through there. A little bit of anxious energy showing up, Pisces. Could be specific to a person or a situation, or maybe even you doubting whether the direction and everything that you're feeling is the right way forward. Mercury retrograde certainly might be casting some of that up for you. 8 of Cups with Queen of Pentacles. Interesting. Ace of Wands again. I'm just going to pull one more there. And the Emperor here. Okay. Let's just check out these Oracle cards. So 8 of Swords. A few of these swords showing up, I think, is just about the way that you're dealing with some of the thoughts and feelings that are starting to emerge, you know. But 6 of Swords, okay. Pisces, if you'd like to join me, you can find the link in the description box below. Otherwise, I wish you bright blessings for this month of February with your guide of temperance and your gift of simplicity. You've got some beautiful energies to work with. And thank you so much for tuning in. Please drop me a like and a comment if you've enjoyed the reading, and I'll touch base with you again soon. Bye for now.